Regime. Unmute, got it. If he gives it in a different order, I'll get mixed up. It says, got it, unmute. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ما شاء الله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. تركاتنا صحبة والخير في جميع. Dar Shahad Afad asked, asking to be sincere for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ليس كمثله شيء هو سميع بصير. Not like anything, yet he hears and sees. Not like anything. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. I was looking at something might trigger a thought or an idea. You know, Dr. Krebs in Montreal, my psychiatrist. We grew up together in Tariqat. He told me to become independent. But if I became independent, I have no existence because only Allah is independent. Everything else is dependent. So if I cut my cord of dependency, I would be non-existent. But he put something interesting. He was talking about nowadays they're trying for the environment to do electric cars. I wrote in Washington. Electric cars to save the environment. And he was saying that he researched it. Doctors are researchers. He said those electric cars that they're making to save the environment are very bad for the environment. He said, what? Because whatever he says, I have to say it's the opposite. Anyone says, I want to do something, somebody quickly comes and say, what you're doing that for? Someone will have something to say about it. He said, because he said, I researched it, and it turns out those cars, they create dirty electricity. Maybe MacGyver can tell me. When you convert from AC to DC, and DC to AC, and then back and forth to power different things, it creates frequencies of electricity that are harmful, especially through the charging. And you plug your electric car in your house at night to charge, and it pollutes the whole house with dirty electricity, bad energy. It goes past the wires, to your neighbors, and when the car is running, converting AC to DC current also. And I started to think, so a electric current that jumps out from its We make electricity to run through wires, through channels. It's controlled. Jumps out from its channels and begins to flood the environment. That we're trying to save the environment from harmful things. And I read that, and I went from there to another site, a book. That person was talking about also energy. He said there are so many kinds, it was a meditation kind of a book. He said there are many kinds of energies. Some we can see, some we can't see. He used electricity as one example, the light spectrum as another example, all kinds of hot and cold, all kinds of things we can't see. And he said you have to learn to tap into those unseen energies. It turned out he wasn't going to do it for good purposes. It was a book about how to do something very bad, but he set the stage by saying, by being scientific, say it's like this. And once you get it, you can do something not good. Energies, so many kinds. I was looking to see what we can understand about. We're surrounded by energy, things we can see and things we can't see. Well, Shaykh used to say there are worlds upon worlds upon worlds. Each one, Imam Ghazali said, all of it is light. All of it can be understood as light in different frequencies, from the heaviest, most dense to refined, subtle ones. And they're arranged in levels. Each level loves the level above it, wants to join that level. Whatever level of energy you reach to, that energy is burning to reach to the next higher one. Therefore, Maulana Shaykh Nazim, Allah bless him, when we asked him about meditation, to see higher worlds, he said, mostly I'm not letting my murids to enjoy themselves with that. He said, if a person gets a taste of a higher energy, starting from lowest to highest, from the minerals level, rocks and iron, and through plants, through human levels, coming up through the human construction that Allah created us. As a person goes up and begins to have experiences, they get trapped in those levels. Each level longs to be with the next one. When you reach to that level, you want to stay there. And progress stops. He said, my goal is to take the murids to the end point, not to stop in the middle point. He said, if they're coming to me with feathers, I'm plucking those feathers out to go, to continue. Not to stop by the road and smell the flowers and look at the sights. If a person begins to experience higher energies, it's very difficult not to stick there, he said. So you can find many examples of people going on a path, they get stuck or they get diverted. So, like that other book I was reading, that person discovered energy levels, but he was using it for satanic purposes. If no guidance, if there's not a strong sheikh to pull you up when you reach those power oceans, and you're firmly in control of, under the control of your ego and shaitan. What should be? What should be? If you give a crazy person a ray gun, space weapon, atomic weapon, what should be happen? They destroy everything, isn't it? Oh, so I see. A person once, never mind. When I was in college years ago, many thousands of years ago, there was a crazy person. He was known in the town. He was the son of a professor. And he was known to be, what did they say, a few fries short of a happy meal, something like that. He came to the place. We were living in a trailer, a mobile home on campus, living the off-campus life. You can imagine. He said, "Come with me." I said, "Come with you?" "Yeah, we're going to kill Gino." My friend and I looked at him. "Yeah, okay." Not thinking he means it. It was a big bird. He took us each one by each arm over the shoulder, and walking uptown to the pizza place. "I'm gonna kill Gino." Okay, okay. We didn't know what to say to him. We walked into the place. As soon as we walked in, the man behind the counter picked up the phone, goes, "He's here." Police came swarming. We said, "We never saw this person before. I don't know him." All this story only, I mean to say, heavenly, or you can't call them heavenly, say powers, levels, power levels. It needs a very powerful sheikh to negotiate a person through those levels without to be stuck there. We're like that crazy guy. We might get any kind of idea in our heads and we run with it. If given a unlimited power, can't be. Can't be. I went to a conference once in Washington, years ago also, thousands of years ago. And one professor was speaking about the powers inside the human chest, the Lataif, the energy centers inside 6 or 7 or 9 different centers. And they were speaking about the Enneagram. Someone developed a system for understanding those power points in the human chest and how to activate them. And that person finished their talk. This was the point, this was the color associated with it, this was the power to be received, this was what you had to overcome to reach that power. And she finished her talk. Allah bless her, she passed on now, that professor. And it was Shaykh Hashem's turn, Mona Shaykh Hashem's turn to speak. And he spoke, he said, "That was a very good talk our professor gave about the Lataif, the power centers in the human being. But there's one important point she left out that very few people know about." She said, "Yes, there are centers that you can access with different energy powers. He used to say there's different powers also given in the human, waiting to be unlocked. Hakikatul Tai, Hakikatul Wajh, Hakikatul Tawassul, Hakikatul Yoshad, Hakikatul Faid, different powers. But he said, it's not like a car. If you have the key to the car, you turn it. Now they have push button keys. You just have to have it in your pocket, push, and it starts. It's not like that. Each one of those power points has a guardian on it. You have to pass that guardian. Not to push a switch or put a key or you have the code. You have to pass that guardian. And he says, nowadays it's improved for all of them under one. You have to pass that guardian. If they sign, okay. If they don't sign, you can push the key all you want, push the code all you want. It's like a child playing. He sits in the car and you give him a plastic steering wheel, and I'm driving the car. They're not driving the car. If you gave him the car quickly, Daddy, I want a pistol. Yeah, you get him a plastic or water pistol, and then don't bring it to school. So we can't carry those powers. He's not given lightly. Awliya were training and training and training to crush their egos down, not to give any chance to their egos. And they were tested at every step. Whoever was their sheikh who was training them would test them severely. Anyone can say, yeah, I crushed my ego. There was a story, the sheikh used to say for Sayyidina Abu Qadr Jilani, if you need help in dunya for something, call on him, call on Shaykh Muhyiddin. He said, those two awliya are delegated for that, designated. Madad Shaykh Ila Hadra Shah Abu Qadr Jilani, Madad Shaykh Ila Shaykh Muhyiddin Ibn Arabi, Madad. Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani, Quddasallahu Siruhu. And when we tell a story like that, we have to remember there are light years ahead of us. To tell the story is only to understand something. If you tell the stories of the prophets, and it looks like in the story they made a mistake or did something, no, those prophets are masumi. They're far above us, anything we could reach. It was only Allah's will manifesting to show us, oh people, if you do this, this is what happened. Look, they didn't do it. You can't say they did a mistake. So Sayyid Abdul Qadir Jilani, with that in mind, he was training a murid, and so years and testing him. He wants to open those taifa through his heart to give him his trust, to give him access to those powers, those levels. And he took him for one last trial before he gave him his trust. He took him on a mountain pass, up on a very narrow path over a steep gorge, canyon, with the river at the bottom. And at a certain point, without any warning, he pushed his murid off the path over the cliff, down. Not an ordinary cliff, like the Grand Canyon, 1 mile, 2 miles down. That murid didn't complain anything. Say the Abu Qadir Jilani, with the antenna he had, he was looking, testing his murid's heart. He wasn't finding any objection. He reached down with the power he was given at the last minute and pulled him up back to the path. And he wants to give him his amanat, his trust, to open those powers for him. Just as he's about to do that, as Maulana Sheikh Hisham told the story, Shah Naqshband, Allah bless him, appeared on that path also and said, wait, not so fast. And said, Abu Bakr Jilani said, what? He didn't complain anything. I tested him severely. He said, no, but my antenna goes deeper. I heard when he was going down that cliff, I heard him say to himself, I wonder with which wisdom my sheikh pushed me off this cliff. That sounds like a complaint to me. That sounds like, where are we compared to that? We're going to go, hey, what the? So awliya are very keen with their murids. Mulana Sheikh Nazim, he said, I'm not an easy person. They're training their murids and muridas to the highest level. They want to open, to reach to the presence of Prophet ﷺ and the divine presence, to the point where the energy begins. As Sayyidina Ali said, holy books are contained in Holy Quran. All of Holy Quran is contained in Fatiha. All of Fatiha is contained in Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. All of Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim is contained in the Ba. All of that secret is contained in the Nuqta, under the Ba. I'm that Nuqta. The point where all of these energies, all of these appear from the unseen, from the world into existence, or more than that. That's only what this weak mind can understand. Because they have to appear from absolute non-existence into the unseen world of non-appeared existence. I've heard from the world of the Ainul Thabita, as they say, Dr. Chittick, the world of things in their possibilities that haven't yet come to be in this world. Allah say to a thing, kun, and it appears. But the Ainul Thabita has to also come from. There must be, there's another garden. There's another one. There's another one. The final point. He's asking to take us up and up and up. He said, use your belief power. Believe. Always Mulana Sheikh Nasim was using the ayat, Astaiz billah, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, amanu. Billahi wa Rasuli. Oh, you who believe, believe. When you reach the end of your belief, believe more. It's a power more than mind power. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. We start the soft part with something, and then he takes over, it goes to something we never thought of. He gave a soft part one time at the dinner table. One Greek guy came from the other side of Cyprus who was sitting, and he started out with something. I'm like, what's he doing? Finally came to a very fine point. He said, see, we started out with nonsense, and it came to there's an unseen energy, a Wi-Fi, a point that if two or more murids comes together, that power is there. If you can tap into it, it takes you to something you never dreamed of. If we sit by ourselves to think, energy, where is the energy? We might wind up like that guy who wants to get the energy to do something terrible, to control people and do. May Allah save us and guide us on the right way and clean our intention. Innama amalu biniyat. Your results will be according to your intentions. Who intends good, they should find goodness. Who intends bad, they should find the opposite. We're asking good intention, to be on Maulana Sheikh's intention and on the intention of Grand Sheikh and Prophet. Sheikh Adnan said that once in a short clip He said, somebody asked him about niyat. What should we intend? He said, I'm intending according to my sheikh's intention. Why do we have to think of some clever thing to intend? Our intention is limited. Like the guy who wants a watermelon, he finds Aladdin's lamp, wishes for a watermelon. His friend says, what you wasting your wish for? Wish for something big. I wish for a big watermelon. We're like that, idiots. Our egos are idiots. If we're given the keys of the heaven and earth, we ask for a watermelon. Something we don't have to make a good intention. Therefore, on my sheikh's intention, on my grand sheikh's intention, on Prophet's intention. What more you want? Fatiha. Amin. Amin. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن